Welcome to Conscious Dominance, a DSRX studio production. These weekly conversations explore how to approach mindful leadership and inner dominance within the powerful container of committed, intentional relationships. Join Eric as he invites new dialogues, sharing practical insights for how the craft of consciousness opens the aperture to love, serve, and connect with unwavering presence.
Hi, welcome back to Conscious Dominance. I'm Eric. Today, I want to talk about something that most people avoid. Most men misunderstand. Change. I'm talking about real transformation. The kind that wrecks your ego and reshapes your entire way of relating to the world, to yourself, to your partner. Change has a cost. It always does. And that cost is discomfort. If you don't know that, you're going to keep quitting right at the point where the shift is about to happen. Real change is rare. Here's the thing I've seen in my work, in my relationships, in men's teams, in combat sports, and recovery groups. Adults don't change in isolation. We can try, but we almost always fail. And it's not because we're weak, it's because we weren't designed to do this shit alone. You want to know where adults actually change? MMA gyms, AA circles, men's groups, intimate partnerships, brotherhoods, relational containers. We don't grow alone. We grow when there's at least one other person, one other human who believes in us. And that belief becomes a kind of structure, a container. I've studied how adults make change, and as you get older, it's hard to make changes by ourselves. Actually, I think it's impossible. We can make change if there's at least one other person that believes in us. This is true when you're young, and it's true as we get older. All we need is that one other person, and we can surmount all kinds of trials and tribulations. That one other person can also be your love partner. You have great opportunity for that partnership to be a vessel or a container, a kind of nucleus of change. You can be a great place where the both of you can facilitate each other's becoming, each other's transcendence and change and growth. And that's what we're building in Conscious Dominance, containers of transformation for men, for couples, for humans, for people who are done playing it small. Partnership is a vessel for transformation. I want to talk a little bit about partnership. Back in the day, people partnered for reasons like raising children or securing property. That was the foundation. But I think there's also a deeper reason. Partnership is an engine for transformation. You become something in the presence of your partner that you can never become alone. This is not codependence. This is alchemy. You're not just lovers or roommates or co-parents. You're also co-facilitators of each other's becoming. A transformative relationship it is a catalyst for transformation, and it's based upon shared values. It's based upon growth. Transformation and growth are the same thing. You must become a beginner. You must learn to be a child again. You must be able to be in this space where in some ways there is a reparenting that takes place, to reparent your own inner children. You come together to be parents of the parts of ourselves that we're healing, the parts of ourselves that grow together to become better. The art of how to support each other in that transformation, to me, is the art of a healthy relationship. There's no healthy, vital relationship between a man and a woman as they grow older that does not make transformation the core of what that relationship is about. I have to change. You have to change. We both have to change. How do we facilitate change? That's the question. I learned from those who have made change a vital part of their world, and that there are these different groups that I was talking about earlier, these different communities. And what are the components of change at the core that we can identify and that we can bring into our relationship? First of all, there's a container. There's a container of trust, of respect, of love. And here's the twist. Growth always will make you a beginner again. And by being a beginner, especially for men, it triggers the shit out of our ego. Growth feels shitty because you're doing it right and it's going to fuck your ego up. So let me break it down. When you're growing, you're doing something new and you feel like shit. You will be in the dip. You will be in a clunky space. You will be incompetent. You will get defensive. You will want to quit. You'll want to push your partner away. You'll want to argue instead of admit. You'll want to defend and explain. And if you don't have a framework for this uncomfortable period, if you think something's wrong because it feels hard, you're going to miss the opportunity that comes on the other side. You're going to miss the breakthrough. You're going to bail out right before you change. There's a learning model called the 4 stages of competence. You've probably heard it. Unconscious incompetence. You don't know you suck. Conscious incompetence. You know you suck and it sucks. Conscious competence. You're getting better, but it takes efforts. Unconscious competence. That's the mastery. Flow. Most men get stuck at stage 2. It's not because they can't learn. It's because their ego can't handle being seen in the suck. But guess what? Growth requires you to suck before you soar, before you get better. And the men who stay with it are the ones who grow into power. And the only way to stay with it in those moments is to have someone that believes in you and loves you. Eventually it can be you. You have to get comfortable in the discomfort. You've got to have something that you're pushing towards. A person who is in growth is automatically below the line, automatically triggered, especially a man. But his growth is discipline and it's going through it. So it will put every human in a masculine pole, and therefore they will be triggered because they're doing something new, which means they suck at it. It's not just the ego, but the ego is to go through those 4 stages of learning. You get to choose your pain. Now, here's something that I tell the men I work with. You're going to feel pain either way, but you can choose which pain you want to feel. Pain from avoiding your purpose or pain from leaning into it and doing it. Pain from disappointing people by being dishonest or out of alignment, or pain for speaking up in your truth that changes the dynamic. Prioritize the pain that I want to feel and that I want to work with and that is worth it, because I can't do it all. I can't grow in every area at once. But if I know what it's for, I'll stay with it. I'll train for it. I'll bleed for it. Women often feel they're in constant pain, emotional pain, mental pain, spiritual pain, chronic pain, diffuse pain. And most men tend to approach pain like something to be avoided or to take it on and get better with it. We have access to pain in a way that is more like training. And we want to know, what am I training for? If you tell me this is pain for training, that I get to be a better father or I'm a stronger partner or I'm more rooted, I'm in it. But I need to know that it's not random, that there's a purpose, that there's some reason to do it. That's the masculine orientation. It thrives in a logical long-term relationship because it's grounded, it's purposeful, it's sustainable. The relationship is a training ground. When you know you're training for something, you know your partner is as well, the whole tone of the relationship changes. You stop taking all of the emotional crap as personal failure. You stop trying to win an argument. You stop taking emotional bumps as failures. Your relationship becomes a training place. It's not a performance stage. It's not therapy either. It's a place to practice. It's a place to be in this container of transformation. You get to learn how to be in your discomfort. You get to learn how to live in discomfort. You get to practice being bad at something. And the cost of change is your comfort, because comfort never, ever gives you strength or power. It is just uncomfortable. Discomfort is the doorway. Love in the container is the structure. The pain becomes your practice. The discomfort is data, your ability to stay with it. So here are some practical action steps. For this week, identify one area where you've been avoiding discomfort because it threatens your sense of competence. Ask yourself, what am I trying to change alone that would be easier with support? Choose pain consciously. Write it down. I'm willing to feel discomfort because it will help me become blank. Find accountability. Find it from your partner. Find it from a friend. Find it from a coach. Find it somehow. Find it from your future self. When you feel triggered by your own incompetence, remind yourself, This is the dip. This is where devotion is proven. If you're a man tired of trying to change in isolation, I'm here. I help men. I help men staying with the process when it gets uncomfortable, when your ego wants to quit, when you feel like you're failing, when growth feels like death. That's exactly when you need support most. I work with men who understand that transformation requires practice, it requires accountability, and it's not about motivation. Men who want to become a partner, a father, a leader who can hold this discomfort without breaking. Connect with me on Instagram at DSRX Studio. Visit the link in the bio for a mailing list. Book a consultation with me for one-on-one men's coaching, or email for episode requests or any questions. Know that your discomfort is the doorway to your change, to your devotion, to your conscious dominance. Stay with it. Thank you.